The garbage truck hissed to a stop outside the gated mansion. A woman in a stained orange vest stepped down slowly, bent back, limp in her walk, gray wig tucked under a torn cap. She dragged a bin toward the driveway, and that's when Eleanor Whitmore, the billionaire's daughter-in-law, noticed her. "Don't touch that," Eleanor said sharply. Her heels clicked closer. "That bin is clean. You'll contaminate it." The woman froze. Neighbors watched. Phones lifted. Humiliation hung in the air. Eleanor sighed, impatient. "People like you never listen." The woman looked up. Her eyes were sharp, calculating, not weak. Inside that wig was Robert Whitmore, billionaire patriarch. And what he saw next made his stomach drop. Don't blink. Keep watching. The truth is about to surface. Robert Whitmore had built an empire from steel and silence. Private jets, boardrooms without windows, decisions that moved markets. But at home, he felt blind. His son, Daniel Whitmore, had married Eleanor 3 years earlier. Elegant, polished, perfect on paper. Too perfect. Whispers reached Robert. Staff quitting without notice. Neighbors avoiding eye contact. A tension that lived inside the mansion walls. Daniel said it was adjustment. Eleanor said it was standards. So Robert chose a test. Disguised as a garbage collector, he came to see the truth with his own eyes. Eleanor didn't recognize him. To her, he was just another invisible worker. Someone beneath explanation. Beneath courtesy. The driveway gleamed. Security stood idle. Power protected the powerful. But Robert noticed everything. The way Eleanor spoke down. The way staff flinched. The way kindness vanished when status disappeared. And beneath the disguise, Robert felt something unfamiliar. Regret. The first morning, Eleanor didn't even look at him. She stepped out onto the marble steps. Silk robe tied loose, phone pressed to her ear. "Tell them if it's not organic." "I don't want it," she snapped, then paused, eyes flicking to Robert's uniform. The trash bins were already lined up. Perfectly placed. She frowned anyway. "You missed a bag," she said sharply, pointing. It wasn't trash. It was recycling. Robert bent slowly, back aching on purpose, hands shaking just enough to look real. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he said, lowering his voice. She scoffed. "They're all the same." A few staff members watched from inside the glass doors. No one spoke. No one helped. Day after day, Robert returned. He saw Eleanor send food back untouched while the kitchen staff skipped meals. He heard her threaten to have a housekeeper fired for breaking a glass, then smile sweetly when Daniel walked in. Once a young maid dropped a tray. It shattered. Eleanor's voice cut through the courtyard. "Do you know how replaceable you are?" The girl's eyes filled with tears. Robert's hands curled into fists inside his gloves. That night he sat alone in a rented room, replaying everything on a cheap recorder hidden in his coat. Voices, orders, insults, threats. Not anger. Evidence. The point of no return came on Friday. A storm rolled in. Cold. Heavy rain. Robert slipped near the bins on purpose and fell hard. Pain shot up his leg. Eleanor finally noticed. She didn't help. She laughed. "Get up," she said. "You're blocking the driveway." Security shifted uncomfortably. Phones came out. And Robert realized this wasn't just about judging Eleanor anymore. This was about exposing the truth. The rain didn't stop. It soaked through Robert's coat, ran down his face, mixed with something heavier than water. Security finally moved, not to help him, but to clear the driveway. "Sir, you need to—" "Wait." The voice was calm, firm, unmistakable. Daniel had stepped outside. His tailored coat darkened in the rain as he looked down at the woman his father was pretending to be, then at Eleanor. "What's going on?" Daniel asked. Eleanor forced a laugh. "Oh, nothing." She slipped. They're always so careless. Robert slowly pushed himself up, every movement deliberate. Then he reached into his coat. Phones lifted. Breaths held. He removed the wig, then the scarf, then stood straight, no longer small, no longer shaking. Robert Langford looked directly at his son. Daniel's face drained of color. "Dad?" The courtyard went silent. Not polite silence. The kind that swallows sound. Eleanor took a step back. No, this isn't funny. Robert spoke, voice steady despite the rain. I wanted to see who you were when you thought no one important was watching. He tapped the recorder and handed it to Daniel. Every insult played back, every threat, every laugh. Eleanor's own voice echoed off marble and glass. A housekeeper began to cry. Security looked away. Eleanor's knees buckled. This is out of context, she whispered. Robert shook his head. I built my fortune watching people, he said. Not how they act on stage, but how they treat those they think don't matter. Daniel's hands trembled. Is all of it real? He asked. Robert met his eyes. Every word. Eleanor reached for Daniel, desperate now. You know I love you. Daniel stepped back. For the first time, she had no power. Police sirens approached. Neighbors had reported the incident. Phones were live streaming. Rain fell harder. Robert turned to the staff. You're all protected, he said. Every one of you. Eleanor collapsed onto the wet stone. Not from shame, from exposure. By sunrise, the estate looked different. Not because the marble had changed, but because fear was gone. Eleanor was escorted out quietly. No designer coat, no assistants, no excuses left to use. Her position at the foundation was suspended within hours. An internal investigation followed. Then charges. Abuse, harassment, coercion. The staff gathered in the main hall, unsure where to stand. Robert stood among them, not above. I failed once, he said. I trusted appearances instead of character. That ends today. Contracts were rewritten. Protections added. Wages raised. Every staff member offered legal support. Some cried openly. Daniel resigned from the board that same morning. I need to earn trust, he said quietly. Not inherit it. Robert placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Not forgiveness, not punishment. Accountability. The footage went viral by noon. Headlines didn't call it a scandal. They called it a reckoning. Not because a billionaire was involved, but because someone powerful chose to listen when the powerless spoke. Robert returned the uniform that evening. Folded. Clean. Respected. He didn't disguise himself again. He didn't need to. Because dignity isn't tested by wealth. It's revealed by how you treat those who can give you nothing in return. And the people who watched that night, they never looked at invisible workers the same way again. Sometimes the truth doesn't come dressed in power. It comes in work boots, wet gloves, and the courage to see.